Welcome back.
It's daytime.
It's daytime for us. We're doing a marathon recording session.
Oh, yes. Lots to do today.
Lots to do. We're going to finish the pod today, whether we like it or not.
Whether we like it or not.
We will like it.
We will like it, but
yeah. Happy to be
here. It will be
here.
a time to be had.
Yeah.
We'll be talking all day.
Heck yeah. Today is release day.
It's not
this-
technically release day. That's not for a minute, or maybe it's already happened. Sort of? I don't know.
Well, who knows?
Who knows?
It's release day for this if you're listening to it. Well, I take it back. Oh my God. Today we're going to talk about release.
Yes, release time.
Our good friend. Just like the top of chapter 1 where Morning Light kind of serves as a prelude to Speck of Dust.
Mm-hmm.
The top of this chapter, Salt, kind of serves as a prelude to Release. I would definitely consider them like a set.
Yeah, every prelude is with a set. You know?
Yeah.
Morning Light precedes Speck.
Yeah.
This one, Salt precedes Release for sure.
Yeah. So Release definitely has the same type of like lyrical content and subject matter as Salt. But, Cassidy's history corner time. I don't have much to say other than, Erin's bravery and willingness to kind of put her experience out there and share it with me through the form of poetry really just inspired me to kind of do the same and kind of ruminate on this idea of, once a person goes through something like this, it doesn't even have to be in the realm of sexual assault. It's any sort of trauma or major event. It's good to just fully deal with the aftermath, whatever the aftermath may be. And for me, I was like, it made perfect sense to kind of release my thoughts, feelings, emotions, whatever through the vessel of song. The way that she kind of chose her given art form. I've always had these thoughts of like, for this song, actually, I don't know if I'll ever do it, but I think it's kind of cheeseball, but like it'd be awesome to have some sort of music video where there's just like all of these women choosing their different ways of like self-expression in whatever healing capacity. Like how do you use some sort of art, or not even art, like it could be cooking is, other things that you don't think of like stereotypically like artistic fields, like dance and music and poetry, like what else is there? Hiking. I don't know. It'd be really cool to like figure out how people kind of do whatever they need to do to heal as best they can. And so this song just kind of was my way of expressing and releasing what I needed to. So the narrative purpose is that it's just better to express the shit you've experienced rather than holding it in, which I stand by. It's not always easy to do, but I do stand by it. So the title of the song, Release, kind of serves as a mantra throughout the song. I would say that we don't really have like a solid chorus. Release is more like a hook that happens, and it's just one word and it's one pitch. And I think that has some sort of meditative quality and aspect to it. So it is very mantra like. It's like I'm talking to myself or talking to the listener, like, keep going, like let it out. You gotta keep going. So the lyrics explore like the most reoccurring and consistent thoughts that I was having about my experience, and my goal for this song was just to kind of be honest. And even though it felt really weird and exposed and like, who's gonna want to listen to a song like this? I don't know. I just did it anyway. I forced myself to do it anyway.
It was more about your internal experience that you needed to express.
Yeah. And and I think sometimes I trick myself into doing stuff by being like, oh yeah, it's like a compositional exercise. Like once I got that idea, I was like, I have to do it. I can't just stop after like the first verse, because then we have this little section. We have to do a verse 2. What are you going to say during verse 2? And it was really tough to kind of do it. But it's awesome to kind of always go back to that mantra and then like ruminate on, okay, release. And then we have this big extended outro that kind of is a manifestation of that idea. It's what it's supposed to serve. So the music is interesting, right? Because Salt, I would say, is maybe more in line with what someone might picture if they're like, what does a song dealing with this subject matter sound like? Where I would say Release probably isn't like right in line with what a lot of people would assume a song of this. Exactly. Yeah. Like the music goes hard. Mm-hmm. But we talked about this in Candle, where we have more, the drums are more present and they're kind of stylistically more in your face.
There's an anger there that we discovered.
Yeah.
Talking about it.
I feel the same way now that I'm bringing it to this. It's like, obviously, like, you're furious. Mm-hmm. Like, there is anger. There is
talk about fire and this.
Yeah. And so the drums were definitely meant to kind of be the vessel of like, okay, what you're the thing that's kind of simmering throughout this whole thing, and at the end we get this like crazy drum solo, and that serves as, look, we did it. You know, like, I wrote the song, I'm putting it out. That's scary for me, but it feels good at the same time. It's cathartic, and the drums totally serve as like representing that. And there's a bunch of other things in there too, but I think overall the musical narrative is interesting because it's not totally in line with like what I would assume a lot of people would think this song would sound like if I was just like giving them my notes on it, like, yeah, it's about this and I want it to do that. They're probably not like, oh yeah, super like almost like R&B, like Robert Glasper, like jazz, but also like chops. But yeah, at the same time, the music is steady in a way. It's really cyclical. It almost is planing. Like the strings.
There's a lot of central.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of repeated pitches and a lot of like central like rock, like being like held down, you know.
So I think
rocks and stuff.
That supports the whole like mantra meditation type thing as well. So the duality for this song is, again, I'm just like, yes, duality, internalizing versus expressing. And for this one, I do want to talk a bit about the pointillism picture because...
which one is this one?
This is The Falling Girl.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I love that.
It always reminds me of this other piece that I saw like a long time ago.
Oh, cool.
In like the best way, though.
It was tricky for me to come up with what I wanted to use as the visual representation for the song. The key word for this song that inspired the visual was burden. And I think burden it goes hand in hand with this like internalizing versus expressing thing, right? Like the girl is falling, and I've always loved the idea of you can look at it both ways. You can look at her as if she just couldn't hang on anymore because the burden was too strong, because she internalized everything and didn't deal with it. Or she looks like limp and peaceful in a way at the same time. And so there's the other side of like, maybe she just let go of the burden because she went through everything that she had to go like, it's a burden to have to freaking heal yourself after something like this happens to you specifically. However, you kind of don't have a choice, and that's why you know, you just have to be strong and you have to go through it. So I look at her personally and I'm just like, you feel this relief, like you're not as attached to this giant thing because you've like worked so hard, and now you can relax and just kind of like free fall for a second. You're not worried. It's, you know, you kind of like have let go. So I like being able to look at that piece from both sides and just kind of, you have to ask yourself like, which way do I want to relate to that? Which is tough, but yeah. Right.
We'll get back to the internalizing versus expressing thing too with our side quest narrative and the tool that we will learn within our journey.
Yes.
In relation to that duality too.
Yeah. So this was an interesting one to bring to you for a few different reasons. Because in my mind, I was like, we're done. Like, this song is great. This song is one of the most complete.
Yeah.
But
we did
you
leave
had
like a decent amount of what was there.
Yeah. But I think that you knew from the start, like, you're like, it's just kind of the same throughout. Right? Because
we needed to add some kind of deceptive, you know, seasoning across the familiar spectrum that ends up happening in this. Yeah.
We did some awesome work.
I mean, you yourself were thinking about aspects like other percussive elements. Like you're like maybe some bongos on this or something, right? Which like actually would be
I didn't
cool.
say bongos.
Did you not say
said
bongos? Did I say bongos?
I would never say let's add some bongos.
Really? I feel like you would
I don't
get on a
think that-
tear and just be like, how about bongos?
No.
I must have said it then.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Which we didn't put bongos on it, but like
We did
that
not.
would be sweet. That would be cool. Turns out though that like with the string variable
Yeah.
and you wanting string quartet on every part of the record, every song on the record, the strings actually end up becoming the auxiliary percussionist. You know,
Yes.
the rhythmic design of the strings is composed, but it's meant to be kind of halfway between composed and improvisational, which is something that we'll talk probably a lot about with this specific tune, is that like middle ground between composed intentional versus improvisational ephemeral, totally. You know, undetermined. So we ended up kind of incorporating some of that stuff, and it was interesting trying to get strings on board with some of those kinds of things, so those rhythms that you'll start to hear. Also with the groove being a 3-bar kind of groove, you know, it's just it had a different sense to it.
Yeah. I will say I want the people to know that this song in particular, strings 100% done by you.
Right.
And
There's
I
a couple songs
wanted
on this record
and I
where-
wanted that because I
Yeah.
just at that point, even still now, I think some of the like more rhythmically involved stuff isn't totally my wheelhouse, where
Sure.
you are a percussionist.
It's
and
hard
it made
it's hard to
perfect
avoid
sense.
it. Yeah, whereas a
So-
lot of the string stuff was like, you know, you bringing me stuff and us critiquing it, and maybe I added a melody here.
And we
or
were
like
working on parts
kind of
together.
very collaborative.
And just,
Yeah, there's a couple on these that I think, I
just hand it off.
this one I was the kind of thing, I was like welcoming it because it was kind of a fun journey to kind of just like create this texture and the interlocking kind of hockets that are going on, which we'll maybe get to that a little bit later as we dive into the form.
Yeah. This was the first one that we recorded for strings.
That's right.
That
What a
was the first
decision that
one.
was. I think I started with, usually I like to not start with the hardest thing because I like to kind of get people into the day, not with the easiest thing, but like the medium thing.
Mhm.
And then we get to the hard thing when people are activated and then save the easy stuff for later. I thought there's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of repeating pitches to this. Yes, the rhythms are difficult, but tuning won't show itself as much. And there's simple, melodies when there are longer lines. But it turned out we did have to dig into this a little bit more because the rhythm was so percussion oriented in its inconsistency. There was a lack of pattern intentionally.
Yeah.
And that's part of the point of this tune. And it ended up being pretty difficult to put together, but we got there.
Yeah.
We got there. It sounded great, and the players did a great job.
Oh my gosh, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Some of the video footage that I got that day that I still just go back to for fun is you kind of rehearsing them while Chris was still getting all the microphones and like the session set up and stuff. So
For release?
yeah,
I
because
don't know if I've seen that.
I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're clapping along with them. Like we're totally not trying to record at all.
Sure.
We're just using the time before we're kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. We'll get to the point where we're soloing strings in this one. I'm just obsessed. Like I could just listen to the string arrangement alone forever. It's
I'm glad.
so good.
Me too, honestly. I love the way it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, and honestly, the rhythms, the players were playing the rhythms like pretty much correctly. It was not necessarily even that.
It was
that
feel.
took time. It was like, it's got a groove. Like
Right.
it's got to feel like, it's got to have attitude. It's got to have like this relationship between the accented notes and the unaccented notes, which creates the pocket and the groove. It's like
Right.
those things were essential to find.
And that's hard for classical musicians. Like string players who go to sessions are sheet music reading beasts 9 times out of 10
Yeah, and I
come
would
from
say
classical tradition.
3/4 of the people that we had on that session, I can't remember who was on that. Maybe all of them do have experience doing stuff outside of the classical realm.
Right.
But there's a certain
Like fundamentally.
fundamental act. It's like if you don't play drum set,
Yeah.
then
it's
there's sort of like a difficult. It's
Yeah.
like it's not the same language.
I'm the
at a
same
certain
way.
point.
I'm the same way. Like I get scared still if something is like super, even if it's easy. And the whole point of it is just like make it feel really good and like
Yeah.
make it be in the pocket.
What does that mean though?
I'm like, I'd rather play Confusion Fusion by
Oh,
you,
God.
where it's just like
Stupid
running,
name.
running,
Stupidest
go,
name.
go, go, super hard, fancy, fancy, fancy. Then like this simplest thing, because it's embarrassing to me that I feel like I can't do that. But
Yeah, you probably
I
can,
lack that. I don't know. For right now, there's time.
I always like it when I hear of instrumentalists who like take a couple drum lessons.
Oh yeah,
You know, like drum
yeah.
set lessons. You know. It's
Yeah,
like,
that'd
you
be
know,
awesome.
Adam McPhail, who plays
Yeah.
guitar, and
Yeah.
I went to Belmont with him. He's one a great example of that. Like, and you can hear it in his playing.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Like, he's done a little bit of drum set. I'll never forget when he was like, "Yeah, I'm taking some drum set lessons." I was like, "Yes." All right.
No wonder he's like
Killing.
amazing.
Yeah.
One of the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Large dimension overview.
Yeah, big stuff. Well, you know, Salt is January. It's wintry. It's icy. It's very just arid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the leaves and the wind and the strings without vibrato and just the reverb in this space. It just feels very icy to me.
It
you know?
is. Yeah.
And this tune is very much like fire. It has energy and crackle and
Yeah.
heat. You know.
Yeah. The tree picture for this one is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We can even do like a little side by side maybe of the picture that we just had for
Mhm.
Salt and then this one. But this picture that I chose is also the album work is still being done right now.
The artwork.
I'm very interested because Salt and Release share a square.
Oh.
I'm very interested to see how Austin Blue is going to convey this like fire versus ice within the same drawing.
Yeah.
However, the tree picture that I chose is a tree experiencing like a wildfire, which I didn't know. I imagine wildfire trees just like coming ablaze, right? But I guess trees can catch fire from the inside, because I was looking at these photos and it was like, you know, the heat makes the tree expand. The fire was kind of on the inside of the tree and then like bursting through. And so then there'd be like pockets of fire that you can see from the inside out. And I had already written that lyric. If this heat keeps burning from the inside out, will I burst to
Right.
embers? What do I do now?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what the heck? And I didn't
Yeah.
even have any of this tree concept going on beforehand. But yeah, I also think that it's really cool that, you know, fire and ice, although it's like a simple concept, it represents two completely opposite sides of the spectrum, which I think is a nod to just the range of emotional experience a person has when dealing with something like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Yes.
it's not one or the other. It's complete opposite ends of the world. It's everything and everything in between.
Sadness and anger. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think sometimes life calls for complexity, and then sometimes you need something simple to kind of qualify something so huge and monstrous. You know, it's like, yeah, fire and ice. So
Yeah.
this is definitely more aggressive, angry.
Yeah. Again,
Driving.
the hockets and the strings. And,
Yeah. Tell us what a hocket is. A lot of people
Oh,
are like, what the
yeah.
heck is a hocket?
Hockets. It's just two interacting rhythms, just conversational rhythms, you know, two people doing different things. Like, you think of, even just someone going, two people going, da, 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 da. You know, technically that's hocketing, but if you make it into a rhythm, you know, da, 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 da. It's like,
You have your
that
two
turns into a
separate
hocket.
rhythms that then interact
Yeah,
in a certain way.
interlocking rhythms that create a composite rhythm.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, the hocketing and all the interaction creates this like attention, kind of like your attention is pulled in different directions, and
Yeah.
and it's not just like a rhythm that you're experiencing; it's between different things. You're thinking about this interaction. The drums are a little bit mixed, a little hotter than the rest of the record, right? They also have an attitude that's very different. With
Yeah, for
is
sure.
it Howie playing?
Howie.
Yeah.
Yes. This was
Like, his
insane
playing
bringing
is
him.
very unique, very specific
Yeah.
stylistically, and it fits
Right.
perfectly into this attitude of this song. And it's a leader, right? It's a leader in this texture.
Yeah.
And then also it has a bit of an energy to it. Like even my BPM in Logic is 180 for this, which is like, you know,
It's interesting because I always think of
That's-
it as 90.
right. It's definitely the eighth note, right?
Yeah.
But it's because I think we feel that pulsation of the eighth note, right? Like it grooves at 90, but we get this And actually, we get the 16th note at 90. Right? We're getting a lot of that, and that pulsation and that ebb and flow of that 16th note. And, and it's not just like da 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 da, right? It's kind of pulsating and flickering, right? Like a fire, which is not just one sound. It has pops and air pockets and flickers and little things, and like that's the idea behind, I think, the 16th notes that are existing between the drums, between the hockets of the strings, and things like that.
Yeah. The session for this was magical. Initially, when I was
string session?
No. I mean,
the drum session.
Everything.
You're right,
like the string session obviously
and this is one of the handful of times where we're using the drum set take from before you came to me.
Drum set and bass.
Yeah, and
we
bass.
didn't change it. Again, shout out to Howie and Zachariah Witcher. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just had my keys part, which was just piano, no like secondary layers, no anything else going, which is bare bones. It's just well, you can play it.
Oh yeah, you want me to play the beginning?
Yeah, I just think that, you know, separate from this getting actually into the form, like just having that context of like all I gave him was this, and then Zachariah and Howie performed their part, and we basically didn't change.
Yeah, like it's just a perfect
we edited and compiled it together, and I mean, you did a lot of work that I probably am unaware of almost. But to me, it seems like we just took the whole outro stuff
is caught and looped and things, but yeah,
and they basically did this in 2 takes also.
Yeah, I mean, the style is right up their alley for the musical community that they both come from. You know, these sounds are very common. Yeah. And they know how to lean into these sounds, and I think that this song needed that. You know, it's a perfect example of like sometimes you can compose a whole notated piece of music and hand it to a player and just be like, please do exactly this, because I just can't play the instrument, but I want to manifest my idea. Yeah. And I need your expertise on that instrument to help me manifest it. Yeah. But this is an instance where go. Improvise, do a thing, groove, say something. Here's the chords and a piano part.
Like I knew what I wanted.
To something else special.
Well, I knew that I wanted it to be like this.
The vibe.
Yes, and then at that point, it's about calling the right players.
Right. So that's a better example, actually. Right. It's like you, based on what you want, you call the people who can naturally deliver that.
Right, and I didn't have to do any work.
Yeah, this
I made
is exactly,
a chart, you know,
for like, Gracie's stuff right now. Like, there's a reason why Ethan is playing on the session, and we only have 2 days to do 9 songs. Yeah, it's because I know that he's just gonna like, bam, he's just gonna play something interesting and unique, and we're just gonna lay it down, and it's gonna turn into something like potentially like this.
Yeah, yeah. So imagine I just give you this piano part. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, if I go down to the hook,
right?
I could go to the pre-chorus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when we have the change. Chorus. It's like, it blows my mind. I mean, that's pretty much the whole song. I don't really do anything else.
Which is why I think it needed some of these other things.
Oh, absolutely. But it's still mind blowing to me that they were able to just get there immediately. Like I said, I think Howie and Zach did a take, and then Howie came out and he listened to it and he was like, wait, one more time. And then he came out and he was like, okay, bye. Like, I did it. And we were just like, what the actual fuck? And Zach actually was the one who was like, you need Howie on this song.
Right.
He was like, Howie will eat this song. That is a quote. He texted that to me. I could probably go find it if I want. He's like, Howie needs to be on this song. Howie will eat this song. And I said, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it did. Like, yeah, I mean, just talk about spectrum of approaches of recording on this record, getting what we needed to get.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's true.
Some insane amount of detail and preparation. You're talking about
bass and drums on Willing.
Oh my God!
Where Evo and I were literally addressing almost every freaking eighth note in that
Yeah.
part for like a 2-minute span of time.
Yeah. And then this one is just like, hey guys, yeah, will you come in and like do it twice and then it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, and
Thanks.
this is where the people who are listening go, well, I like this one a lot more than Willing, so I like that approach. Totally.
That's fine.
Could be the ending the ending result of
It could also
how it
just,
comes across. But what's great is like no one knows what went into it.
No.
They will never know.
Right.
So it's like, well, we're telling you, but like when you're listening, you're not assuming that you know. So
right.
you do whatever you have to do to get the right outcome, and if that's working for hours finessing it or hiring the right people because the style is able to be captured in a more improvisational way,
Yeah.
then that's the answer for that song, right? It just depends
Right.
on the scenario.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love how diverse, like the different approaches to like the bass and drum, almost like genre throughout this song or throughout this album.
Yeah,
is.
like the relationship between bass and drums and how that shifts across the record.
Yeah, like
yeah,
it's really
totally.
cool. It's really cool
Uh-huh.
and unexpected. And I used to be nervous that it would lead to this like overall
Diss jump
non-cohesiveness.
thing.
Yeah, I don't think
the
so
fact
at
that
all.
our intention was pretty early on to have these like chapters.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps it. Because like for example, in the first chapter, I played drums on Candle
Yeah.
and Willing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have some of Dan's drums in Candle and some of Dan's drums in Spec.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
No,
I play an
RJ.
RJ Spec.
Yeah.
Right. Is it? I'm thinking of Echoes.
Yeah. Some in Echoes.
Right. And I'm also on Echoes. Like Echoes,
Totally.
Candle, Willing.
Right.
So the drums are kind of the same human personality.
Totally.
Defining them. And then we start this next section. There's no drums on Salt. Release
Right.
has drums. And we'll get back to some of Dan's drums in the next tune. But then I play drums again on Moonlight. But it's
Totally
but
different.
it's way different. Brushes and just like a whole different personality that I'm trying to channel for that. So
Right.
that's interesting. I've never like really gone down and thought of
Yeah.
like, how is the drum bass relationship kind of growing and changing?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, should we jump in?
Yeah, let's jump.
Zoop. Welcome to the song. I thought of that same exact thing as last time where it's just like, all right, we jump in and now we're in like a different world. We've like jumped into inside the song.
Yeah,
Like we're walking around the Logic session. How fun would that be?
oh, that would be cool. Virtual
Oh my
reality. I mean, we're
gosh.
not that far off of it. Apple Vision Pro, that'll be a thing soon. Please.
Best day of Aaron's life. Yeah. So the song starts off. I just have this little like quote of the end of what will be, I guess, the chorusy type thing, We're immediately there.
Yes, you do a pickup into this is what's really cool about this. It doesn't happen a lot, I feel like, in the world, in music, and then definitely on this record, where you're like doing a pickup bar to the song,
Right.
A lot of times you get it like in Americana or rock music where it's 1, 2, boom, boom, ding, or like Phil, boom, bam, right? And that's cool
Yeah.
for that style. This style, it's like, I don't know, it's just like another little not ear candy. It's just a little bonus. It's
Yeah.
just like, what is it?
Because we didn't need
What was
it.
that? 2 bars, right?
We didn't need it,
It's going to
actually.
come back, right? That's how
Yeah.
we're going to get back into the verse
It's
or the
true.
chorus later.
It's true.
It's a little bit of familiarity, just like seed that you're just like, there it is.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. The groove is there immediately, but you did a lot of production work to the drums. Kind of in that same vein.
Yeah, some of them in
to kind of like delay the true arrival.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
is awesome and
Got to push that energy forward.
is perfect.
I think it really works, actually.
Oh my gosh.
The groove is there,
Oh yeah.
immediately, right? Like, because the piano is syncopating, bum, bum, and you have the repeated notes, and even though you just get some cymbal color
Yeah.
from Howie, it's like you can sense an energy that's to come. You can feel like his like anticipation.
Play that.
Just the drums and the piano.
Sure.
Drum some.
Oh my gosh. And
Piano.
actually, why don't we just add for fun this other thing that I want to talk about, which is your vocal melody.
Oh
Talk about another thing that he
happens in Scratch that I'm like, this is just a placeholder. Maybe you can do this, or we can put a synth on here.
This was
and she was like, nope.
This was the most adamant Aaron had been about. Listen. Like, talk about how musicians justify before they show somebody something. Like, you were totally doing that to me. You were like, okay, and I just did this thing, and it kind of like goes along with like the synthesizer thing that you had, but like I'm singing, but like it's not, I don't want to keep it, but like maybe you can do it later.
Because like I wasn't really trying. I was just trying to get the idea.
I was just like, fuck you. No, we're keeping it. It's perfect. So it's in there.
Oh my god.
Vocal feature.
It's the only time I
release featuring Aaron Walters on vocals.
You can't, when it's in the texture, you can really barely.
No,
tell.
but it's awesome though.
It's not a vocoder, but it's meant to sort of act like that in a way.
Yeah. So now you guys know.
Yeah. Now they know.
He's singing. It's so sick. Yeah.
Right? Filtered drums, the high end's gone, the low end's gone a little bit.
Yeah.
Not too much.
Let it keep playing because I have a story about this little space right here. Or wait, no, it happens later, yeah.
And then my vocal line here is where I came up with the idea that is what going to be the center of the string theme.
Awesome. This. And now welcome to it. Do you know what is hilarious?
That's the mistake from the video, right?
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a little like Salt Plus Release music video long time ago.
Was it at home by any chance?
No.
No. The home Nashville place?
Where was it? Alex the Great?
I don't know.
I don't even know if that exists anymore. My friend Boone was working there at the time. And I was using a loop pedal for the piano part. The reason why this like intro is so long is because it kind of had to do with how I would perform it. And first of all, everybody who looks at people and like, oh, they're using a loop pedal, that's so cliche and like whatever. It's hard. I have so much respect for people who use a loop pedal and then do it really, really well because, oh man, almost every single time. I think I did it once at a show, totally messed up. I did it during this like live tracking one take music video, totally messed up. However, it worked pretty well. I needed to do it because I was also playing that synth line on the mini log on top of the piano loop, right? So I would like play the phrase, loop it, start it, play the mini log thing, and then would enter with my vocals. But I messed up the loop pedal and then just kept on going, right? Like that is exactly how I performed that entrance. And I was like, oh my God. And everybody's like, that's the best take. Like we're done. And I was like, what do you mean we're done? Like, that's not the way it's supposed to go. I messed up. And they totally convinced me that was actually a cool thing. And then here it is to this day. So talk about happy accidents that you just keep and move forward.
Accidents.
I mean, this is
so
totally the arrival, right? Like we have that beginning where there's not totally groove yet. Then we have the filtered drum groove thing. Then we have the pause. And then, okay, like we're here. That's already a significant amount of time though before we like
and
really...
there were vocals, we just played that without any vocals. And there's some attention grabbing things happening there. But yeah, it's over the course of a minute.
Yeah.
Minute and 6 seconds. Yeah. Just over a minute.
Right.
So a substantial amount of time.
Amount of time.
To be continuously building energy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Simmering.
Speaking of simmering, there's a few little sampley things on this record, right?
Yeah.
And like, this is another moment. We had the iciness in Salt, and this is just very simple fire, and then eventually there's some static and some crackle because it's just like this, again, this fire idea.
And does this have the same type of like filter that the drums kind of do?
Well, I mean, technically high and low frequencies are filtered out in slightly different ways, but the idea is right. It's not its full, you can tell it's not its full frequency spectrum that we're experiencing.
Yeah.
But you can hear that the high end is coming in. Hear that?
Yeah. So sick. Yeah.
And then immediately back, right? So, and then you can hear that right there, the verse moment there, we get this other sound added to this fire.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is just like vinyl like static and crackle and like typically audio sounds, but when put in the context of fire, we suddenly start to hear it kind of like fire.
Yeah. Do you know what's cool? I actually don't remember. Maybe this is where this came from. Who knows? The piano patch that I used for this song back in my band days, my bandmate Connor Amon at the time, he was like, "There's got to be a way on the Kronos to like add some like vinyl crackles
like
to the piano sound." Yeah. So this patch, I always performed it with that. Again, this like intuitive, because it was his idea. I didn't think of it.
I don't think we talked about that.
Okay, well,
that's kind of creepy.
Maybe you just did it, or maybe I was like, hey, like, could we get some like crackles in there too?
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
And then you went just to vinyl. But again, talk about like being convinced of a thing being the right thing. It's like years ago, my bandmate was like, ooh, this needs some sort of this. Completely unaware of like how far we would take this whole like fire driver idea, you know. And yeah, here it is in the song today. So
absolutely,
it must be right.
It must be.
It must be right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got to talk about the guitar too in this song.
That came after the strings.
You did all the guitar.
Yeah, I played guitar in this one. Is this the first song I played guitar on the record so far?
Is this the first song with guitar? No, we had it in spec. This is the
but that's
this is
very
the first
different.
Song that you
this is the first song on the record so far that I played guitar on.
Yeah,
because we're gonna get more of that.
Yeah,
like Light On has texture from guitar for me.
If I Knew
has very important guitar layers.
You kind of
and I hired my buddy Alex to play guitar on Bird.
But it came from
a part that I played. Yes. I just needed him to execute it a little bit better.
Yeah. So welcome to Aaron Guitarland.
Yeah, and I'm it's funny because I really technically almost started on guitar in this realm.
Really?
Yeah, like I played piano classically when I was 5, but I played in bands when I was like 14, and I played guitar.
Whoa.
The first records I produced, I was playing guitar on them.
Wow.
So it's kind of nice to be able to contribute some of that.
Yeah, man, guitar is awesome in the verse, and it really kind of works along with the strings, which you can talk about, but the guitar in the chorus.
When we get there,
I like
what a weird discovery.
It was the discovery.
It completely changed the emotion of the chorus, weirdly enough.
It didn't change the emotion.
Heightened.
It expressed finally what I needed it to. And I had no idea that it was going to be this guitar part, but oh my God, again, this is probably a song where I could listen to things soloed out forever and just be completely satisfied. So whatever, we will get there. Talk about the guitar being like an extension of the strings.
Let's do a few things here. Let's listen to the strings. We haven't listened to the strings yet.
Oh, they're so yummy.
Let's listen to the strings, and maybe should we play the drums with the strings?
Strings
or just strings
drum?
by itself?
Honestly, strings by himself.
Okay.
Nobody gets to hear that.
Okay.
Unless I release a sample pack. Come on, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick Manius crushing it.
It sounds like Game of Thrones.
It sounds like a medieval battle scene.
Can you add the fire sounds in there?
Yeah, and I'm gonna play it one more time because I want people to kind of just key into the let me put the bass too to support the kind of harmony. But listen to just the hocketing, right? The interacting rhythms from everyone in the string quartet. I'm gonna go into that intro again, the second half of the intro. Right, so within that, you also there's this counter melody happening to what's eventually going to become a counter melody that's being established as its own melody. What's this like? And right, so this theme is going to like help also anchor us down within all the syncopation, improvisation, and drums that are crazy, and textural shifts, and all this. It's like, ooh, there's something I can latch onto, right?
Yeah.
And it's given in all these other places. So then we go back, and in the beginning, the guitar is just chords, right?
Single note.
Just a textural thing, just to be like, hey, I'm here, I'm guitar, with this top pitch matching the pitch that's being repeated in the violin. So there's an awareness and a relationship.
Yep.
And the lower note of the guitar is following the bass.
Yeah.
Right? There's a growth.
Yeah.
It's brighter, right?
Yes. And I want to do one more thing. I want to listen to all that again with your vocal melody in there now, because that's
following the strings too.
Well, it's following the strings too, and you can almost see why you wouldn't do more with the guitar, because the guitar has these two notes, and then oftentimes your vocal melody responds, which the first thing that you created was this vocal melody. It's like everything kind of unfolded from that.
The guitar was a lot later in the process.
Yeah. So let's do all of that.
I'm also going to add in this other synth that's growing in the intro.
Yeah. We get two higher register things right there.
That middle register from the synth. And then check the guitar here.
First time we get those chords.
Yeah, talk about like that guitar part's got a little buzz in it too. Like I kind of didn't quite finger that top note super well, but it was just the chord I wanted, and I was like, I don't know, I'm just gonna leave it there. It kind of has like it cuts a little bit because of it.
Perfect.
Little imperfections, right? We're perfectionists, but we can leave imperfections. We're capable.
Mm-hmm. If they're good imperfections.
If they do something neat. Yeah, if they do something neat.
Yeah. So
yeah, I guess we can kind of get into this verse proper now, right?
Yeah.
Because we're building, but it's a false build. We go, right?
Yeah.
Our textural shift, like the violin and the guitar try to throw us up there. The drums go, shh, right? They're trying to be like, what's happening? But then, nope, not yet. And eventually that way we can kind of come back to this filter drums location. The dynamic of the strings comes down, the texture comes down, there's no vocal line, but the lead vocal is there. There's none of the synth vocal line.
Right.
Then we have the vocals, the lead vocals, they're fairly simple, right? They're very straightforward.
All of the lyrics, like the
all
rhythm
of the
and melody,
the approach and the melody are all pretty.
For this is very, like I said, like mantra. It's
almost spoken in a way. It feels spoken, like even the release hook and things like, and even the verse, it feels like ba-dum, ba-da-dum. It's like it's not like this very defined melodic thing. It's kind of more just like a statement that happens to be pitched, which I think is really interesting with like the rhythmic backbone of this tune.
Yeah, and I think that you can almost hear how, again, it's like this fake it till you make it thing. Like I had this idea to go through this process because I knew that it would kind of help, but maybe having not the most interesting melody or the most complicated material is just because I'm kind of like it's almost like I'm going through the motions to go through it. It's like I'm pushing myself to do it, and there's still like easy. Some reluctance to it. It's like I'm very much just doing it to do it. So everything else has to pull kind of more weight. I don't even know sometimes like if I like really truly, when I perform this song, even, I don't know, this is not one where I'm like, let's totally relate to what we're saying and have this like emotionally driven performance. Yeah, it's like, very much words. It's like I'm saying these words because I know that that's the thing that I should do.
That's interesting though.
And then everything else is kind of more pulling the emotional weight.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many greats that think about words that way. I don't really listen to Bon Iver very much, but he's known for treating words as sounds.
Yeah.
Just like vowel sounds and consonant sounds. Tom York is an amazing example of that.
Napalm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really what she's going
sometimes
for. Sometimes
it is more just shapes and formats. I mean, that's kind of the thing about my vocal part here.
Right.
A vocal that's hyper tuned and affected and, you know, given all these things, you have access to these in just the insane amount of organic variety of formant, right? Of like
Totally.
how much your mouth is open, closed, and your palates are changing your vowels and your, you know, what you're articulating. And that slight organicism to it adds like an inherent salience to vocals. I think why vocals are so drawn into by people in music is just because they're ever changing, but they're relatable at the same time because it's words, it's the human voice. I know what that is. And I think that that's, you know, shown in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. So then we get to the chorus. I said earlier that the song doesn't really have a chorus. I think I was forgetting about this part, so I take it back.
We talking about the hook?
Well, yeah, I mean,
I want to go back to we never talked about the releases changing.
Oh, yeah, that was huge. Wait, can we show them what it used to be?
Yeah. People are going to be like, I always like playing these and thinking about like people being like, but I like that one, which is so like, that's interesting to me.
They won't, they're wrong.
I had the folder pulled up and
I'm
now
kidding.
It's gone.
No, I wonder though. I'd be curious. I wouldn't shut it down like that.
You would be so mean.
Maybe. Who's to say?
Who's to say? I think it was this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Over every age, release, 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 release. If
And every single section
single
like
time.
that
And of
worked
6.
like that.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release 1. Every single time it was that in the demo, right? I don't
Yes.
even have to play it every time. Just know, like every time this section happened,
Which is often. I mean, it happens quite
it's
a bit.
We,
it's
you
like
know, I refer to it as like it's the hook, right? And I don't know. It was just an opportunity for like because of all the repetition of the song. Like there's a different version of the song where it wasn't so repetitious. Where like having that be repetitious in that moment would have been the choice.
Well, and there was nothing else there to conflict with, and I think that that's really what sparked this idea that you had.
Yeah,
I was totally ear blind to it, but once we had all this other movement and the strings and like
it's
all
like,
the
where
arrangement,
should these be?
the arrangement was different through these sections every time. So that called for, well, what is actually the best place for these?
It's a good example of when I talk about this, the piece or the music wanting something from you,
Right.
you know, and like it's actually making a decision. You just have to like manifest that decision. It's a little heady, it's a little cosmic. And sometimes people are like, yeah, just do what the music needs. But like, what does that mean?
No, that's totally
You
like
know-
who is the Michelangelo being like, I looked at that hunk of marble and saw David in there and I had to free him.
Yeah.
It's totally that concept.
Right.
Sometimes it begs for you to do the thing,
Yeah,
and
it's
you're
like
just the vessel of getting
making
to
the
that
decision.
conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just like, well, clearly release needs to be in a different place because look at what it's on top of. Look at what's shadow. Look at what's hiding. Look at what it needs to draw attention to by responding to it. Look at where it needs to be. Like, it can be anywhere, but it doesn't want to be anywhere. It wants to be somewhere very specific.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Good job. I never would have heard that.
Yeah, like the first one
Talk about
is
demoitis.
just one.
Whoa,
and then,
really?
And then the delay brings it back in, right?
Oh yeah, we had that idea too to go through.
And it's really subtle. You almost can't even hear it in the mix on kind of intentionally. Whoops. Had to go through that one because of the delay. Time based. Here we go. This one should be right now. Wait, so it goes away. And you can't even really tell exactly what's being said when it's in the mix. And I kind of like that because we talked about this release relief thing.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like it's like relief, which is like, maybe there's something to that.
Totally. Again, I never would have heard that. But that's kind of the beauty of the beauty of, and then a case for collaboration. Right? Because I think that some people can kind of just be like, well, I just want to do it all by myself. Like, I don't need anybody else. I have a problem with Jacob Collier for this reason.
He collaborates though.
He collaborates.
Yeah.
When I know that I'm listening to like his early stuff, like the In My Room stuff, constant thought of mine was just like, this would be cooler if he had other people. Not to say it's not cool. Or like when he was just really, really going hard. And I'm not knocking him. That's
Yeah, I mean,
amazing.
he's a
I
total
can't
genius,
do
for
that.
sure.
I can't do that. I would never do that. But like, it was his thing, you know, and really, really leaning into it. Like, again, nothing but utmost respect.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he's making all those videos where he's hopping from instrument to instrument or whatever. And I've even been to his live show, and like part of his show was him jumping around stage and going from instrument to instrument. And it is just, in my opinion, fundamentally, I don't want to use the word better, more interesting to me to have other people's input and, you know, presence, and they're informing what's happening. I'm just never on the side of like doing it by yourself is usually not better.
Right.
So like having this like external input is awesome.
Yeah.
So
And
just a little.
that's actually interesting. You talk about that because I've experienced doing something all by myself.
Yeah.
My
your
graduate thesis, right?
Yeah.
The only person I involved was Maggie Chafee doing
played?
strings.
Didn't she play on this?
She played, yeah, Maggie.
Yeah.
Who Maggie played on this record? Yeah,
Yeah.
she played on 4 songs. I'm not remembering what 4 they are, but she played cello on like 1 minute, and then like another section of like maybe 2 minutes. And one was doubling a orchestral melody, and the other. But it's like it's an interesting journey. You
Yeah.
take on a lot of pressure. It takes a lot of time. You have to cut a lot of corners. And creatively, though, there's also another instrument counter argument to be made. A lot of times I'm teaching my students, like, if you are a composer, you are the sole creator of your idea.
Yeah.
You are the one who is manifesting things. Now, the problem with that, usually, is that you can't play all the instruments you want to compose for.
Yeah.
You can't just be 10 people. You can't be 5 people. You can't be more than one person. So you
Right.
have to eventually give that up to at least performers.
Yeah.
And then the argument is, how much are they playing what you want them to play versus how much are they bringing to the table? And this is what's uninteresting, that the thing that the DAW brings up is like, well, you can like, do the Jacob Collier thing, where it's
Right.
like, well, I can be more than one person, and I can have control. And I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to creative things. Like, I'm oftentimes trying to articulate things very specifically because I think very strongly about their, you know, what they're offering for salience or whatever. And I do think there is a weight sometimes to, or I would say oftentimes to, you know, to taking all of it on yourself. So I think that might be an interesting place that we differ a little bit. But I do think there is a collaborative importance that also is important. I feel like it's important to not just be a musician that only exists to write their
Yes.
own things with all of their own actions and things. Like,
It's a lot
I
of
think
missed
you have-
opportunity.
yeah, you have to integrate people into your musical life in some way.
Yeah.
If it's not that, you know, having other songs where you do that, having other projects, having other places where you can experience that important relationship and like, you know, I bring up Ethan again.
Yeah.
You know, the chemistry that him and I have, you know, improvisationally, my buddy Kevin, you know, in Austin, like, there's a specific thing that we can achieve together that I could just never do. I can't improvise with myself.
Right.
Like, there's certain environments where you need to rely on other people.
Yeah.
And the bass and drums here
Totally.
are
Everything.
another example of that.
Yes. And then to further support this case of, I'm so glad that I worked with you in particular, is probably my favorite guitar part.
The guitar. Yeah.
And it's I say favorite, and then I immediately am like, but the solo of If I Knew, it's just something so specific in this like emotional space.
It's a passive secondary feeling part, but also not.
Let's just say this is my favorite passive secondary guitar part.
Yeah, not
Because-
lead part or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Because it's just, can we just hear it by itself going into this chorus?
Do you want to play with the Juno that's doubling it?
Sure.
Thanks, Jesse, for the
Thanks,
for the-
Jesse.
your Juno
Always thanks,
contributions.
Jesse.
Right? What's so interesting is like that guitar part by itself, it doesn't sound like anything in particular, right? It's just like dyads kind of moving in a simple rhythm. But there is something that they do when they recontextualize, when we're given bass and we're given piano, which is pretty much the only thing that's
Things.
existing there. It's
Yes.
like there's a little bit of drum texture, which I won't play.
Strings go
But
away.
the only other things, like in this mix right now, it's piano, lead vocals, a little bit of drum color, and this guitar and
and
synth.
Juno. Yeah.
Right, and we can hear that transition underneath the vocal all together.
Yeah. It's almost like the guitar part isn't separate from the bass.
Yeah.
And this is what was really hard. I kept on being like, Aaron, talk about annoying artist language. I was like, this chorus needs to be tiny. What do you mean, Cassidy? I don't know. It just needs to be tiny. It needs to be, everything else is big and it needs to be tiny.
I agree.
You know what I mean? But like, this is what's tough is like, talk about like casting the fishing rod into my soul. Because, you know, you got what I meant. The piano part changes. Octaves, like register, you know, we jump up an octave.
The sound is different.
The vocals kind of have this like higher, more...
they're affected
it
for sure.
seems, well, that also came in this search of tiny chorus, because obviously it didn't come to you with like any sort of effects on the vocals. The lyrics and the nature of the melody and just the register of my voice is a little bit more, it sounds more of like a cry. And not as strong as just I'm stating these facts that I do in the verse. But, you know, I remember feeling annoying at your house during a session of trying to figure out what the heck this tiny chorus meant, because you would do something and be like, no. You would do something like, no. And then again, like it's hard sometimes. It's like as an artist, you can feel this annoyance where you're like, I know what I'm going for, but I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you get there, and I just have to constantly shoot you down until we get to
well, that's
the
trust. That's the trust to stick to your guns when you're working with. It's like, like you're saying, like we've been talking about with like this previous, you know, the place you were in before you came to me. It's like, you maybe, you know, you need a place where you can trust the other person, where you can be kind of intense about like, no, because I am like, of course, like you're going to say no until I'm doing something that is what you're trying to think of. And it's not your job to know how to fully articulate to me what needs to be done.
And at the same time, every time you would do stuff, I mean, it's just experimenting until you land on the thing. It's just like, well, what if we did this? What if we did this? What if we did this? It's informed decisions, experimenting until it creates, you never were like, this is it. And I was like, no, we were both kind of searching for it.
Yeah.
However, you know, this is a lesson for me. I'm like, tiny chorus probably must be higher register, less textures, blah, blah, blah. I would have never considered adding a guitar part that's in a lower register, more attached to the bass, would help support this tiny chorus idea. What the guitar heck? Like, thinner. How's that? Yeah,
it's thinner, and it's also it's a lot of homorhythmic things happening, which is like, you know, a lot of same rhythms. Like if you listen to the guitar and the vocal, right?
With so little convincing, I stayed. My soft and small words he threw away. Took no for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, exact rhythmic unison, right? Again, the guitar's not articulating on every rhythmic articulation that the vocals are doing, but every place that there's guitar, there is vocal.
Yeah.
Right? And the bass is it even takes even less notes, but still always is articulating.
Yeah.
On where vocals are. So there's a lot of really, and same thing with the piano. There's a lot of like homorhythmic things happening in this chorus, which is very different and creates a lot of salience, because it's like the whole rest of the song is not really as homorhythmic. It's like
it's all woven.
You know, it's like
everywhere.
Absolutely woven. And this all of a sudden is this blocky kind of just like, here we are, you know, being very distinct with our, everyone's doing the same thing. It's a very, very collective moment there.
Yeah. Another thing that is worth noting is like, I kind of don't remember the order of operations, but I do know that the treatment of the strings going into this chorus was absolutely integral into like affirming that this tiny chorus land felt super different. Like the automation of the string line going the kind of away.
Yeah,
can you play that?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
I jumped to my favorite guitar part. Yeah. It's like, here's a new territory. There's nothing else that could have like signified that in a better way.
It really helps. And I remember there was a moment where you thought it was actually too present.
Oh, I thought, I mean, it's an extreme decision in
absolutely.
to me, this is what extreme is. It's pretty bold. And it took me a while to live with it. And then it was one of those things where I was just like, no,
Oh, I
obviously.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like the verse is running away in like both directions because of the pan, and then it's like you can see something.
Yeah, and this
else
is the
that's
thing
new
about
for the new
too. If
time.
we just get a little bit of like production nerdiness too. Like this is a great example.
Bless you.
This is a great example of like using simple production methods to make it tiny.
Yeah.
The pan spread, which was full on all of that stuff, now starts to get very tight. If you notice, right, the piano here, you can hear it in the piano really well. The piano is like normal sized. It's stereo. It's full. Like we get a pretty wide image from that piano. It's like, wow, I can hear it here. I can hear it here. And then when this comes in,
Yep. It's in between
there's
my
some
eyeballs.
delay happening here. Very faint, but that piano is like, bam. It's like super center, right? And a lot of these things are that way, right? It's very centered. Very centered. Like bass is obviously going to be straight down the middle. And the drum image, if I'm not mistaken, right, that also kind of tightens up a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can open back up into the hook.
Mm-hmm.
When the hook comes back after this chorus, okay, we sucked in our texture. We went back into this like smaller pan spread, like smaller frequency spectrum, less texture. So how do we catapult back in? Well, the strings really take over because there's no strings in this break, which I think is like really important. And you have this giggle, right? And the guitar helps with that, and the texture just really opens up. And Howie again, boom, with these like triplet fills and like things that really break the mold as far as grabbing attention. Wide, right? We hit that ride.
And immediately more releases.
Yeah, and instead of one. And now that one happens on the, right, you notice the diss happens on the after the downbeat. So we can arrive. Not on the end of 6, so we don't thwart that. And then this one is going to go into the downbeat so that we get that little kind of little fun thing that Howie kind of threw in there for fun that I ended up actually like paying attention to on the guitar because I thought it was such a neat little moment. I wanted to kind of have it pop a little bit. Sorry, here it is. Right, and that release comes right before that. Just that little embellishment. Just so we have a little something else fresh on the second hook, right? Just a little ear candy moments once again.
Heck yeah. Okay, then verse 3. Talking about how to differentiate the sections of the song, because my melody and piano part were pretty much just like copy paste from the first verse, then hook, then kind of like second verse, It's the same form where verse 1 goes into the hook, and then verse 2, we have this tiny little harmonic change at the end that shoots us into the chorus. It's literally copy paste. And so we had discussions as to like, okay, so once we get to this verse 3, what could we do to make it not just the exact same? And so we switched the piano to this higher register and kind of chopped out some parts, and the piano has this little embellishment that happens.
Yeah, it's
so
softer.
that the hook and then verse 4 can then feel bigger, shooting us into the chorus, shooting us into the rest of the song.
And there's no guitar, right? There's each of the previous 2 verses had guitar. There's no guitar. It's slightly smaller texture.
Yeah. Interesting enough how you have that guitar part aligning with the drums. This verse 3 has a fun little moment where the piano has an embellishment that only happens one time through the song, and the strings catch on that too.
Yes.
Do you want to hear that?
Yes, about piano and strings.
Yes. So yeah, a lot simpler, higher register.
Right, yeah.
To kind of support some growth
just that
and movement.
little motion right there. Yeah, just there's a relationship between those two.
Yeah. But it really does help set this verse 3 apart. I think in a way that's like,
the texture is very different.
yeah, it's necessary. 'Cause
Mhm.
The worst thing, the
But we
worst
also
fear.
bring back the fire here. This is the first time the fire comes
Ah.
back since the first verse and hook. We don't have it in verse 2 and pre-chorus and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So it brings us back to that textural place too. While we have since we have the space for it.
hmm Is this a verse where we have this crazy bass line, or is that in the next one?
Oh, I actually can't remember.
Let's play.
It's the next hook, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, love
Yeah.
that. Zach.
Gosh,
nailed that.
insane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, the bass embellishment that I think you're talking about is kind of along the same line, actually. Let me.
hmm
Right, so just like a little bit of this kind of.
Like, how does one hear that?
So there's this other little fuzzy synth that we haven't talked about a ton, actually. And it's this kind of fiery synth,
Mhm.
right? It's representing this kind of. Right, and this, again, the bass and that synth relate to each other here. And then that synth takes that idea that the bass had, that it doubled and responds to it,
Yeah.
right? So the bass doesn't do it again, but it does it again. To be
Right.
like, oh, that was a thing. Oh, I'm going to go off on that now,
Right.
right? Again, all these little things where they're like, information. Information is just kind of
Yeah.
hitting us from all directions,
Yeah. So then we get into the next hook.
which again, now has 3 releases, right?
Mhm.
We had
So we're growing.
1, we had 2, now we had
3.
3, and this one also is going to come similarly off the downbeat.
Come on,
No
Bassville.
release there to leave room for that. And then we have a release off beat again. And again. Right? And what's really interesting is that like it's really interesting to think about like what happens. We can get rid of that. It's really interesting to think about what can happen in these spaces because Howie's leaving them and Zach is leaving them in their improvisational kind of decision making, right? You hear Howie go, tss, 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 go, boom. Like he kind of breaks away from his time there, which leaves the perfect hole for like a thing he didn't even know was going to end up happening in the future, which is this huge like this long line that like, okay, this is the last hook.
Right.
Let's like really make the string say something very substantial.
Right.
And the drums end up leaving a space for that. It's
Yeah.
interesting how those things end up happening.
And then, it also provokes the thought in my mind, though, is like the players who can play at this level, like this is Howie's second take. Most of what we are going from. He's
Yeah.
like a composer too, though. So it's like, yes, he didn't know this thing in the future was going to happen to take this space, but I think that his artistic intuition and ability knew exactly where we're at in the form, and that maybe some space was called for there so that we can hit this 4th verse, which is, it's just interesting to think about. Like, yes, of course he couldn't know, but I think he's just so informed on a deep level because he's just
there's a
so
musical
freaking
breath.
good.
Yeah, musical breath happening there.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to talk real quick about, since we're at this hook, like we're calling this a hook, but like what's funny about it is it's like release. Like it's just like, it's like one word. It's not really a melody. Like it's not technically a hook in a way.
That never happens the same time in all 3 times.
Yeah, but it's like it's the same thing over and over again. We kind of
Yeah.
hear like release. It's like, okay, we get that, right?
Yeah.
And then there's also what had come in for underneath, what has come in to support was this other sort of counter melody hook thing. Or there it is, yeah. This whatever that like ending of the phrase is there. That's a hook too.
Totally.
So it's like they kind of are working together, and there's this memorability I think that's important to kind of talk about with like just what makes a hook, why do hooks matter?
Yeah.
Because they can be it can be problematic sometimes. You can be kind of unaware of salience, or just like, let's create this thing that's like earworm. You know, it's like, well, yeah, someone's going to remember it if you shove it into their face 16 times.
Yeah.
And like, it's just like how the human brain works.
Right.
But it still can be kind of like not compositionally balanced if that's what we're trying to go for. So I think that's why like slightly changing how many releases there were, having this line be doubled in the synth and then the guitar, but then it's in the cello, but now it's cello and violin. Now it's slightly different textural things, just to kind of make sure every time it happens, it's slightly refreshed in a little bit, in a little bit of a way.
Totally. And then we get to verse 4, which is arguably the most dynamic.
Yeah, and this is highlighted too because we came down for that verse 3.
Yeah.
Right? That verse 3, we needed that not just to give us a breath from what song that was happening before it, but to be like, okay, let's bring this down so we can finally reset our energy and go forward. And that hook really hits hard, and we have this long bass kind of, improvisational embellishment thing. And then, okay, well, we need to kind of have one more final hurrah with this verse, because that last verse 3, it was kind of like a penultimate statement. It was like down, and it's like, okay, here it is before we transitioned for the end. What's our final thing? So the energy is just meant to be sort of full blast there. The strings have this high melody, which, by the way, I love this melody. I don't know what came over me here, and it's so simple, and it doesn't matter probably to anybody else, but when this melody hits in the second verse, I just love the way it pops and then comes down in the second verse. Right, and then it leaves. It's just this counter melody that, like, it's almost like, okay, we have this high pitch that hits, so we can arrive on a larger, like, textural, in a larger textural place with higher registral things happening. And it's like, oh, well, the violin needs to kind of, the string line, the octave string line needs to get out of the way. Okay, so let's have it go down and register.
And we have space for that too. Like, we have space for something to fill.
Yeah, well, the thing is like, there is vocal, there is other things happening. But what's interesting is it's an example of like the music telling you what to do. It's like, I want to have a high string thing so we can hit on this and make this bang, that textural thing we were talking about earlier, stronger. But it needs to come back down so we can focus on the vocal and we can think about a smaller texture. So, well, okay, I need to make a melody so it goes from high to low. What is that? That's a melody. So it's like, now what do we do? Dee-dum, beat-dum, I remember working on the strings with this to get that feel. Because it's like there's articulation coming from the guitar, at that point, not the guitar, from the bass and from the drums that kind of activate this kind of attitude here where it's just very distinct. Right? And you can hear that decrescendo. So when it comes back later and we come to this final verse that we were talking about, it's now more intense, higher register. Right? Sustained strings, higher register melody. Right?
Unison. Like, that's a big moment, going to unison. And
exactly.
That almost,
the end of that verse. We didn't play the difference of that. Listen to the end of the verse 1 and end of verse 2 and how they differ, right? This is it.
Burn with fire over every
like, it just has this. And then passively goes into the hook, right?
Right.
End of verse 2. Right? It's a little extension, right? It's almost like there was a pre-chorus here, and now there's the full pre-chorus. It's like hinting at the pre-chorus. Same thing.
Right.
This does the same thing in verse 3. Just one time. Growth. Right?
Insane.
Now, end of verse 4 is big now.
Yeah.
crashing on my skin.
Yeah. So last time we had the unison, but it was a lower octave. We have the addition of the higher octave
so
right
many
now.
more elements now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Insane. And we arrive at chorus 2, which is almost verbatim chorus 1. However, we've had this discussion before, so even though the form is copy pasted, the harmony never changes, I think we've done a good job at conveying how we have all these differences and nuances. Like, okay, we have some parallelism, but also we're trying to make these tiny little arrangement moments. So really, we have consumed pretty much constant new material this whole time until we get to this chorus too, which is why it's almost exactly the same, because it's so short. We only get it 2 times in the whole entire song. It would also, in my mind, my intuition is like, it would be weird if it was super different. And there's also a case for if the music isn't new and grabbing your attention, then it kind of lets the vocals speak, which I do think at this point,
Absolutely.
the vocal melody and lyric is like the forefront of what we should be paying attention to. So it's your whole, by not changing it, we gain salience.
Yes, right, because we're going the reverse direction to
Yeah.
a familiar place. And I think that another important thing is like this outro underwent a lot of work, actually.
First of all, we got rid of a section.
Boy, did we.
He hated that.
One of my least favorite things that you gave me was that section.
Hilarious.
I think.
Hilarious.
It's just like, it speaks from a place of, it felt forced. It felt like it felt like a blemish, right? It felt like it was doing something that didn't help what was happening. And wasn't respecting everything that had happened before it. And
It was kind of lame, I'll say.
yeah, I mean, I don't know
It's
if
just young writing.
It's cool. Like
No, it's not.
it could be cool in a vacuum, but it just in the context of the song, it seemed like out of place. It just seemed like
Right.
it didn't fit.
Right.
So I want to play that real quick.
That's fine.
Yeah, listen how this chorus goes on.
Like lyrically, yeah, I wanted to say something like that. Don't spend your time wondering who's to blame. Oh, just speak your words, release the pain. Crux.
We talked about keeping those words and putting them somewhere
Yeah, but then
else.
I was just like, I'm already kind of saying that. And I think it made sense to me to let the instrumental section say that.
Yeah, it just seems like the chorus hits, right? This thing hits here. And then we just work our way to like forcing this other thing. It's like, here we are in this
Yeah.
texture, and then we just shove that in the middle, and then we come back to it. Right? It just felt like
Totally.
it needed to be like scoop that out of there and let it keep going.
Yes.
Right? So
We
I
did do
remember,
that.
and then we extended stuff. I had to take the drums in the end and
Yet another
loop
chorus
them and-
extension.
yeah, just to like live in it, because we
Right.
didn't get a lot of it within the song. We kind of, it's very similar in the sense of, in this time we kind of hint at these choruses, we play them for a bit, and then we really elaborate. Again, the same thing like Echoes. It's like you get to the pre-choruses, you get this content, and then at the end, it's elaborating a bit.
Yeah.
Right? It's like it's kind of like, it's paying homage to like the things that happen in a sonata form in like classical music, where there's the development, right? Where you're taking the themes from the exposition and you're doing things with them. You know, it's a very traditional compositional like approach, right? But we're just kind of doing it in a sort of more, a little bit simpler of a way here.
Yeah. And we still got to keep Howie's crazy, insane
Yeah, everything,
drum thing.
exactly. The whole drum outro from before, it's all there. So another thing about this, the regular chorus is very straightforward, right? Like it's,
With so little convincing I stayed. My soft and small words he threw away. Took no for granted.
right? And then there's a bar of transition, right? So it's like, you could think of it as a tag, right? Like it's like, took no for granted. Like it's like, okay, that's kind of tagging in the end, and then it's bar of transition. So it's like an even 6 bars. Each chorus is kind of like that. But at the end, the phrases start becoming a little bit more like, wait, where is this phrase restarting?
Right.
And even for me, I had moments where I kind of heard it in different locations. But
Oh, playing it too.
yeah, it's like
that
where
part was
is
always
the
interesting
downbeat,
for me.
You know, let's
like a
see.
circle.
Yeah, it feels very cyclical for sure.
With so little
This is the second chorus. And this is just no.
Three, 4, 5. Repeat.
Right, you can hear release in the background there too. And then in the middle of that 5-bar phrase, we have Howie going to this solo.
Third iteration of the same chords, just up an octave.
With the piano from the chorus.
Yeah.
In that, which is the register actually. Yeah, and that solo is so important narratively, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember telling Howie some of the minimal direction was, quote, go crazy. You know, because I knew that I wanted the drums to represent this idea of releasing, you know?
It's a catharsis. I mean, drums are a very
Totally.
cathartic instrument to play.
Totally. This was something that he did the second time. He went in and did another take.
Sure.
Or I think maybe like they did 2 full takes and then he listened back and he was like, wait, one more time. And then he kind of like got to this point and was like, yep, that's it. And it's perfect. I love that it kind of wraps up in what feels like a simple way.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, yep, I'm done. I feel better now.
Absolutely. This this internalization, externalization that we'll get to in a second, you know, it's definitely like you can feel that working through. The drums are working through something.
Absolutely.
Like you can feel that in this whole song. It's like there's somebody working through some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I like the idea of, well, first of all, like odd meter always feels cyclical to me. Oftentimes.
Odd phrasing structures,
like
odd
5-bar
repetitions.
phrases.
Yeah.
This section feels like it could go on and on and on. And this is a place of the song where it's like I would like to live here. Like I would like to walk in this place and this be somewhere that I could go.
The guitar part is more prominent that you
Yeah.
imply. It's like we actually automated it up here so it can have more of a forefront.
Yeah. So having the drums kind of go off, like it could continue if it wanted to. And then that's kind of like a, you know, it's always going to be this practice of,
That was
spooky candle, of, you have to come back and you have to constantly work through letting your emotions out, working through them, dealing with them. There's never a point where you're done.
It doesn't end super clearly. It's not,
You know,
it's not just like, right? It's like, you know.
Yeah. And even the way that he handled it, the ending is kind of symbolic to this. It's like you go through phases and practices and time periods, and then you have to be like, oh, I have to go back to real life, but I'm gonna probably have to come back here and let it all out again. And then just, you know, you can't just always be in this like crazy heightened emotional state where you're hyper fixating and focusing and like doing this crazy insane amount of work. It's like it is a practice.
Yeah.
So yeah, the drum performance is just perfect in so many ways.
Yeah, it's also a big celebration of the improvisational nature of this tune.
Absolutely.
That's been a big cornerstone of like, you know, your background comes from classical, but you discovered all of these jazz idioms and these things, and we're going to get probably a little bit more into that. But in some places, this song is a big celebration of that in a lot of ways, with the string parts being composed to be improvisational, but the drums are very improvisational and the bass is very improvisational, and there's embellished improv sort of fills in the bass and the drums.
Yeah.
But then there's super composed melody lines and hooks, right? It's that, and the drums celebrate that improv nature, and it's like, okay, well, that freedom, there's a freedom to improvisation. Like there's this expression in this, you can see, it's almost like, you know, Howie's personality is being given to us in what we're hearing, and that authenticity in being a musician that you have to improvise correlates to what we're about to kind of sum up with the record's narrative, I think.
Yeah. You know, while the drums are kind of final, the harmony
The harmony
is
is
not.
sort of not. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not. So do you want to know a fun fact?
And the drums are almost, they're final in some ways, but also not, because they slow down a little bit too, and they filter out.
Yeah, this song is actually
Caught
just
between
in
it.
C major. Which is
Actually, C,
hilarious
yeah.
to me. Yeah. But like we end on this crazy, what is it? Super ambiguous. It's
Right.
like, ouch, you know, and I think that
After all that work, you're
I
going to tell
know.
me that I'm not over this?
I know. And it's just kind of like, it's the classic, like we can't just give you like a happily ever after.
Yeah, totally.
You know?
Can't be too much, too saccharine there.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's unrealistic. If we were just like, listen,
Weird.
yeah, it's just like obviously not. So I love this, like there's aspects of resolution and aspects of non-resolution in this ending.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's balanced
I'm all
almost.
involved. It's like it's salient.
What the heck?
It's like it's
Are you telling me
salient
that
or
again?
something. Wow.
Are you telling me that again?
Wow.
Yeah, so let's go to our, how does this fit in with the overall record?
Yes,
this
we're on our side quest.
this second song of our side quest.
Yes.
So the narrator versus codependency thread. We talked about how codependency as the monster and the beast isn't really present in the side quest. However, we're learning what we need to learn so that we can come back to it and then defeat codependency. From learning how to demonstrate external vulnerability
In salt.
in salt, which was
Yeah.
our first tool, which I learned in my gesture of, you know, writing this song and giving it to Erin and noticing how her external vulnerability was so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
What's the opposite of external?
Working through your own shit. in your own
Internal.
head.
So we are encouraged to now demonstrate internal vulnerability, which was this practice of emotionally confront what was going on, acknowledge it, put words to it, put language to it, spend the time that it took in my mind to write this song.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, ultimately go back to tool number one, which is sharing it with people.
Yeah.
But this song is totally a demonstration of both. You know, like I had to spend insane amount of time, like just doing the internal and personal work to get to a point where I could write this song and then play it, which is, you know, welcome to tool one and tool two.
Yeah. External authenticity and vulnerability and internal authenticity and vulnerability. And I think what's also really special is like, or really significant, I should say, is that in salt, you're being, you know, we talked about like being sad for the sake of just being sad, like being in the sadness and not actually working through it. Just like, oh, let me be sad with you. I'm also sad. I feel you. I'm sad because you're sad, and I'm sad because this also kind of happened to me, but like we're not going to actually do anything about it yet. And sometimes I like, you know, I talked about personally, like I even have a hard time with that sentiment, but it's like psychologically that's a healthy thing. Like being in that feeling for a minute.
Right.
Release is working through that.
Right.
It's like, okay, we felt sadness, but like you can't just, well, I don't know, maybe you can, but maybe it's not the most productive thing to just stay in that forever. So the release is the internal vulnerability and authenticity that it takes for the character, for you to hash out those things that you felt in salt. And I think the correlation between that is partially what the crux of what we're getting at with the side quest is like these interrelated authenticity and vulnerability can lead to such profound learning.
Yeah. I would even go further as to say, like, if internal vulnerability and authenticity is what we're going for, like a drop down menu folder from that would be confrontation. And
confronting something, your own feelings.
Yeah, codependent people are horrible at that.
Interesting.
Codependent people
Conflict
will
avoidance.
not. Yes, conflict avoidance in general.
Interesting.
You know, you never want to rock the boat, so you don't have these conversations
Right,
with
that's the
people.
whole point,
You
I
don't
guess, huh?
So, but what's interesting is that it actually starts internally, of course, right? So while yes, it's good and there's room for sitting in the sadness or sitting in whatever emotion, you can sit in it and feel the feeling simultaneously avoiding what's actually going on, not putting names, not putting language, not putting any sort of label or
Right.
you can be in it and then still not confront it, and that is that like intellectualization where it's kind of like you feel good because you're acknowledging it to some capacity, so you can just pat yourself on the back and then actually walk away from the real work. So thus, of course, we need to have both. We
Yes.
need to have this internal and external. We're staring it in the face. We're doing it on both levels. Because if we don't know how to confront things and address them head on and not be scared to do that, how are you going to do that in other relationships?
Yeah, and you can't be authentic to other people if you aren't already authentic to yourself. Like that's
Oh my gosh, it's almost like the whole saying of if you can't love yourself, you can't love someone else.
right. Yeah, I mean,
but it's true.
And we're not reinventing the wheel. We're
No.
just kind of we're acknowledging that truth, and we're saying this is how it's correlated to the story that we're telling.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. So we have two tools now.
Mm-hmm.
In regards to our change thread, we're learning that change is possible,
Mm-hmm.
which we haven't really experienced that.
Mm-hmm.
Where we left off in Willing, it was just like, I don't want to change. I'm avoiding change. I kind of did, but now I don't. We haven't done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
But through this, with our two tools, we're we're learning that it's possible.
Yeah, you can work through that shit.
Yeah.
And it's not perfect. It's not a happily ever after ending, but you
No.
can still get to some place that feels finite and
Yeah.
finite.
You can leave off on an A flat, augmented major 7 chord,
Yeah.
but it still be okay and it still be progress.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can beat
Nerd.
codependency. So
Yeah.
we're going to end up going back to our main quest soon with one more
Soon.
song to kind of really solidify
Yes.
this the tools that we've learned and the side quests that we've taken to kind of be like, oh, there's this other part of my life outside of codependency where codependency doesn't exist. Actually, a healthy relationship with one of my best
Right.
friends, and
Right.
wow, all this authenticity. Look what can be solved and look what can be figured out and what can
Yeah.
be worked through. These heavier, arguably,
Right.
these heavier when talking about issues of sexual assault and
Yeah.
and things like that, like arguably have a weight to them that some people might consider heavier than codependency.
Totally.
Right, because there's potential violent aspects.
Well, this
or
is
there's
the-
other things
this-
that are very very bad about that.
This is the real life bullshit.
The real life bullshit.
You
exactly.
know? And then
Not that codependency isn't.
Well, no.
but-
When we get to clarity,
Right. That's the
we
idea.
learn we hit on exactly what you're talking about right now, right?
Mhm.
We grow. We're not so naive. We're not so, a victim mentality
Yes.
is a trope of codependency too.
Mhm.
Thinking like, oh my God, I'm just so, my life sucks. And why is this happening to me? Well, we'll figure that out in Moonlight and then take that with us and figure it out. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yes, we'll leave you there. But however, we left off the main narrative with Willing finally kind of experiencing the consequences of living in this codependent way, and it's not good. However, when we go to Light On, the next song, we start to feel positive consequences
Mm-hmm.
to going through these hard things. Gaining these tools is no small feat.
Yeah.
It takes
Takes a huge amount of effort to be
effort.
vulnerable and authentic with
yeah.
yourself
However,
and others.
we get to see like the fruits of that labor in Light On.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that's why that will complete our little side quest. But
Absolutely.
guess what time it is?
Takeaway time.
Takeaway time.
That must have been the melody that I forgot. Or it's a new one.
I don't know. Who's to say? But yeah, something that was huge in this song is just, like the improv aesthetic
Mm-hmm.
and achieving that within like hyper improvised and hyper composed manners.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over. We've been showing examples of this. The drums are improvised, but they're composed around formal decisions. The bass is improvised, but it's composed around, it's the chord changes are defined. The form is defined, right? But then you have guitar, which is very focused and very composed, but it has an improvisational approach to like performance. Like it's still following, but like the rhythm, like it's kind of varies. It's the same personality, but it's not the exact same rhythm,
Right.
because that's how the violin or the string parts were written.
Yeah.
But then you have these other synths and you have these other really defined things and repeated vocals that are always kind of saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that improv aesthetic versus the composed aesthetic is an important piece of your music. And you have a very interesting relationship to improv too.
Yeah. Yeah, I still don't even really do it that much, if I'm being
Yeah.
totally honest. But I think that that's okay. You know, people are going to land all over the spectrum
Yeah, absolutely.
in that field. And the older
Absolutely.
I get, the more that I have just like come to accept it. However, that does not diminish at all the fact that I love experiencing what can come from improvisation, even if
Sure.
I'm not actively participating in it.
Mhm.
And it's just two different types of fun. Like,
Mhm.
there's something so thrilling about toiling and crafting a part that then you get to finally, like, you get to the finish line and you can experience, and it's so fun and so exciting. There's something else just on the other side of the planet with improvisation when you hear these like serendipitous happy accident moments that is just exhilarating and thrilling, and that also just never gets old. And then there's somewhere in the middle, like my happy accident performing this very, very, you know,
Yeah.
written out, composed part. Those things can happen on any side of the playing field. You know, you're composing something, your hand hits a note that you never would have actively chose because you dropped something on the floor and you bent down to get a pencil, and then you actually
bam.
press a D flat and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, it can happen in any realm. It's just so fun when something is kind of being performed at a high level and then these insane things happen.
Yeah.
And I love it. I just love both. And I think that that's okay. And I don't have to be, no one has to be everywhere all at once, you know?
Absolutely.
And you can't be. I couldn't, there's no way looking at my life, and maybe this is extreme justification of I should maybe practice more.
Yeah.
But
Always.
there's no way looking at my life that I could have accomplished everything in my like career and with this album and as an artist if I spent all that time trying to be the world's best improv person.
Yeah.
There's only so much that you can do.
Absolutely.
And there's also something to be said for like, you know, you want to work on your weaknesses. However, you are given your like natural abilities and these like
Yeah.
natural
How do you double down on
strong
them?
suits that like they're worth strengthening too. Like those are kind of your superpowers. I don't think my superpower is ever going to be improv. I could get better at it, but I don't know. I'll just let other people do it. They're way better.
Yeah. Did we already talk about, is it Speck of Dust that has the piano stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Those composed lines, right?
Yeah.
That sound improvisational or soloistic.
Yeah,
but
I'm really good at that. I'm really good at making it sound like I made it up on the spot.
there's something I'm realizing about this that's I think really profound about the story and the side quest and our narrative is just like embracing uncertainty. Improvisation is the art of embracing uncertainty with intention.
Yeah.
I think that in the side quest you learn how to work through something and attack things and be in something while also embracing the fact that it's not perfect, but being vulnerable and authentic leads you to discovery and learning and growing.
Yeah.
And I think like improvisation and composition, they both are different kind of manifestations of that. You know,
Yeah.
it's like in order to improv, you have to be comfortable with yourself.
Sure.
You can't improvise, you know, very well sometimes when you're being in your own head and you're not
Yeah.
being productive and you're like kind of self-conscious and, you know, so it's interesting to kind of face like there's a musical correlation too there that I think is really interesting.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's absolutely a relationship between perfectionism and codependency as well,
Interesting.
which manifests, like I said in a previous episode, learning music is almost like therapy in a mirror. It's like you're gonna have the same struggles musically that you do in your like personal life. You just, there's no one else involved except for you, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like when your roommate moves out and there's still dishes in the sink and it's like, oh
Uh-oh.
man, that was me.
Yeah.
That was just me.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're experiencing, right? Like this hyper perfectionism thing and codependency just go so hand in hand. Like I am unwilling to be perceived a certain way, so I'm going to act how I assume you want me to be.
Yeah, in this perfect definition.
And I'm not going to invite confrontation because confrontation is uncertainty that might lead to conflict, and I don't want that. If I just never bring it up, then there's just never going to be anything wrong, right?
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, totally related. And I could probably say that in a lot better and a clearer of a way, but you know, it's worth mentioning, even if I'm imperfectly uneloquent.
Ineloquent.
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 Yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well,
What
we'll
an
see
ep.
you. Yeah.
What
we'll
an ep.
We'll see you at the third song of our little side quest.
Oh, yes.
Lovely little light on.
Light on.
Next time.
Yeah, a little tiny little cozy song.
See you guys.
Toodles.